Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Adidayo Adidapo Adifoshe, senior partner at Hardnave. Our last video we talked about documents. Today I have with me a professional, a real estate lawyer. Is a real estate lawyer to some of the companies here in Lagos, Barrister Yoyinka. Glad to have you here, Barrister.
Good morning, Mr. Dapo. Thanks for having me.
Briefly, Barrister, can you introduce yourself to my people?
My name is Fadipe Ayoyinka, like you mentioned earlier. I'm a real estate legal practitioner and a rabid real estate enthusiast.
Thank you, Barrister. This morning, without taking much of your time, we'll be having you asking you some questions. Barrister, how do you ensure? How do you in buying a property? How do you ensure a good title, Barrister?
It's all about searches. Simple. You have to search. You have to investigate. You have to take certain actions to ensure that you are not buying a very wrong title. All right. So this is what I like to say. I like to put it in perspective. If I walk up to you now to buy a property, say property worth 4 million naira or any amount whatsoever, I would demand that you show me documents that support your title. Well, of course, you are telling me you are the owner of the property. So what documents do you have? It could be deed of assignment, it could be a CFO, it could be just survey plan and all that. So I will ask certain questions to ascertain the validity of your title. For example, upon citing your deed of assignment, I can tell from the recital part. Recital is where you have the history of ownership of the property, how the property devolved from one buyer to the other. All these things will give me an insight of whether the property is even devolved legally in the first place, devolved validly. Because we have situations whereby people who do not have title sell to someone who now sells to another person. Now that person might think he has good title, and we have even had situation whereby a buyer goes to process a CFO on a title that is not his. So when such person comes brandishing a CFO at your face, then it's your duty to trace back the history of the land. It goes beyond, hey, you have a CFO, so I'm sure you are the perfect. No, it doesn't work that way. So certain investigations must be made. I must know that the person who sold the property to the person who sold to you actually has the right to sell. Like sometimes 2 weeks ago, someone contacted me about property. They wanted to obtain a property that, okay, and I made certain investigations, and I got to know that the property actually belonged to their father. To the seller's dad. All right, there are like two of them. They want to sell the property. The property belongs to their dad. Now we begin to ask, where is your dad? At first they were telling us that he's away, he traveled out, this, that, and that is a bit incapacitated somewhere, this, that. But then I asked. Eventually, when I made certain searches, certain investigations, I knew that man was already dead. Okay. And I asked them that what is now their authority to sell their father's property. It might sound simple. We want to sell our father's property, but it's not legally right. All right, without obtaining letter of administration, because you never can tell other children of the father or other children of the man, or other people that might come to contest such sale. So it's always good for sellers of properties that belong to a deceased to obtain, most times children, to obtain a letter of administration. So this one would, of course, give them the authority to sell to the buyer. And also, in checking the recital, you might see that a company had once owned the property and all that. This might warrant that you even make your search at the Corporate Affairs Commission. When a corporate body has a property and such property is such property could have been used as charge, there could be a charge on such property and all that. So all these things must be considered. Searches must be done in all these areas to ensure that that property is not encumbered in any way. And land registry, probate registry, these are places you should make your investigation. But most times people think, okay, this land is covered by CFO, or this man actually has a deed of assignment to his name, so I think it's safe to buy such property from that person. No, it's not like that. No matter, you can't be too sure. No matter how much you trust such seller, you still must do your preliminary, investigations, search here and there. It's even fine that one of the searches you should do is at the street, the local area. You should ask questions. You should ask about the property itself. You'll be surprised how much leads you can get towards investigating this title and ascertaining the owner's the intending seller's title. Yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you, Barrister.
You're welcome.
My second question now is, we have some of okay, let me relay with Bejuleki. We have some of the estate going on right in Bejuleki, and some people believe that buying a property in an estate, automatically the land is safe, that you don't have issue of omonile and all of these things. What can you say about that? Do you think buying a property in an estate gives you that 100%, rest of mind that you don't have any issue on the property, or we still need to do our diligent research on the title?
Fine. Just like every other property, you still need to do your diligent research on the title, and it depends on the estate itself. It depends on the title the estate brandishes. There are situations where, like, let's just be typical. In Bejuleki, for example, a lot of all these estates claim they have CFO. But if you make your research, you discover that some of these estates, some of these CFOs they call are not in their names, which means the land is actually covered by CFO, but there is a buyer in between before you. The person who wants to sell to you is a buyer who hasn't even perfected his title, but is calling CFO for you. CFO is a title that belongs to the person he bought from. So if you are going to be buying into such land that has CFO, there's something we call ratification. You have to ratify your title, or you wait for the company itself to perfect its own title. Then the company can perfectly transfer title to you as a new buyer. So in that way, you'll be covered by the CFO. Otherwise, you'll be paying a whole lot trying to ratify title that was transferred to the company in the first place without perfection. So that's pretty much it.
All right, thank you, Barrister.
You're welcome.
My next question is, recently I've heard some agents talking about document, and there's this particular document they keep saying that I don't know. Is there anything like consent to survey, Barrister?
Consent to survey.
Survey.
There's no such legal document as consent to survey. It depends on what they mean. Actually, all these people are, fine. They are so used to these terms that sometimes they get it muddled up and might not, and might, they might turn it to cliche, something, or they might just come up with certain terms, amongst themselves because they are used to, all these terms here and there. But the truth of the matter is that there's no such thing as consent to survey. If you want to survey a land, right, the simple way you survey land is by checking first, to check the coordinate of the land to know whether the land is under government acquisition or not. But the consent area might be that you're trying to seek consent from the traditional owner. So before you can, they could have given it. It could be anything amongst themselves that they're trying to tag that way. But consent to survey is no document, it's no title in the eyes of the law. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Barrister. Before we go, what's your advice on real estate to my people? I want you to just briefly tell them, what you think real estate is, how real estate can help, how how you think it can help them?
Real estate is awesome. I tell you, real estate is like a gold mine. You know, real estate is an investment where you can start with little and you can build over time. Of course, real estate doesn't appreciate in a day, 2 days, 3 days. It could be. Yes, some properties do appreciate within a year. It could be 3, 4, 5 years. But then, if you are going into the real estate investment game, you have to be sure that you are not just in to get out as soon as possible. You know, it's supposed to be a long-term game. You're supposed to play a long game in this regard. So it's pretty much it. And in buying into real estate, a lot of people look at the overpriced areas already because they believe, hey, this land will appreciate within a year. But if you calculate that, your ROI, your return on such investment, cannot be compared to when you buy property from the root. When you buy property because you envisage that development is coming here, and of course, almost every property will develop in no time or within a short time or within a good time. So it's always a good investment. There's a saying that says, don't buy real estate and wait. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. So the truth of the matter is, it's always good to catch all these properties young, where you'll be sure of good ROI over it. And I tell you, if you are disciplined, you build your real estate investment portfolio in an awesome way. Very awesome way. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Barrister.
You're welcome.
I'm glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
I hope next time we invite you over, you surely come around.
Sure. You know, there was a time you talked about this, that okay, we're supposed to have an interview and all that, but I didn't know. You called me severally, but you didn't turn up and all that, so it's not. So I'm sorry if it took this long before I could eventually come to.
All right, very soon we'll be having you around again.
Absolutely, it'll be my pleasure to come here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, viewers. Thank you. Keep subscribing to our page, to our channel. We promise to have more videos, bring more videos on, educate you guys on, property.
Wait, guys, did I tell you Mr. Dapo is a great real estate investor?
I
know about him. It's good to work with.
Thank you, Barrister. Thank you, everyone. See you guys in our next video.